Did you ever see No Country for Old Men?
Um, yes.
Is it me or is Anton Sugar one of the scariest motherfuckers on earth and makes you want to wet your pants?
Yeah, of course. It's like when I'm
But it's
watching No Country for Old Men, I feel like that meme of Michael Caine as Alfred where he's like, Bane's the scariest guy I've ever seen in my whole life. Like, yeah, 100%. Anton Chigur is frightening, but I'm gonna do you one better here, pal. No Country for Old Men is probably the funniest movie of the past decade and a half. That's my hot take.
you're saying a decade and a half.
Oh yeah, Phil, I'm also including
I would think I don't know.
I laugh
The
hard.
comedies have been pretty bad in the past like
No, no,
decade.
no, Phil, that's why I'm going back a decade and a half. I'm including
Ah,
Superbad and fucking
okay.
what's the movie with just Seth Rogen movies before he did Green Hornet and his career tanked, okay?
Yeah.
Like I mean, all right, I'm serious now. I laugh so fucking hard at that movie. Did I say it's my favorite screwball comedy? This is the point I wanted to get to is why are you shocked that I say it's so fucking funny?
It I think there are some parts that are like kind of oddly quirky funny or just like very odd or the awkward moments with Anton and like the dude at the a gas station guy and
Yes. Guy, sure.
pretty much all of his encounters with like the
Let me ask you,
yokel folk.
yeah, those scenes are hysterical.
Yeah.
All the scenes with Llewellyn are fucking hysterical. When he goes back into the trailer after he steals the money and he's talking to his wife, they sit on the couch side by side. He's like, "You're not gonna talk to me?" She said, "No, I'm mad at you or whatever." He's like, "How about taking the back? Screw you." It's just like every fucking thing about. What about when the two company guys show up at the scene of the botched drug deal and they're in a truck. Anton Chigur is already standing there. They pull up. A guy gets out and he's like, "You mind riding, bitch?" Like everything, like characteristically. I think that you think a funny movie means that it has to have like farts and it's Jeff Daniels diarrheaing his pants off on a toilet.
Well, I'm not gonna go that far. I mean,
I,
I have
it's
seen more comedies than Dumb
hysterical.
and Dumber.
Phil, I'm not saying that but how do you not laugh every fucking 5 seconds of this movie? Coen
It's a pretty
Brothers,
dark movie, by the way.
have you ever heard of a dark comedy?
Yeah,
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Coen Brothers movies, Fargo. Do you think that's a comedy?
100%. It's a dark comedy.
That's what I'm saying. This is every movie they make, their remake of True Grit. Fucking comedy. It's one of the funniest
Yeah.
things I've ever seen is True Grit. You know, I love No Country for Old Men. Look, it's dark, it's intense, it's got great action scenes. It's kind of a horror movie, like you're saying. I agree with you. I think
Almost like a slasher, just from murder to murder to murder from
yeah.
this one guy that's like this very odd looking man who is also like he's the type of guy that if I didn't even like speak to him, I'd look at him and be like if like I'm in fucking public, I'm just like, yeah, I'm not gonna ask that guy like any questions like, where's the bread aisle? Because he'd be like, why don't you know the friend? Then he would just ask me riddles almost. I'm like, listen, I don't want to die. I just,
He is kind of like a bridge troll.
yeah.
And if you fail, like much like a bridge troll, he's gonna gobble you up, dude. I agree.
Well,
Look,
like it seems like every answer to every question that he's like asking you
pisses him
pisses
off.
him off in the first place. So it's just like I don't know what you want me to answer.
It's still
I'm
fucking
probably
true.
gonna die, and if I'm spared, it's a fucking miracle, like the
Phil,
huge fat
Phil,
lady.
you've been around me, and there are times where I'm in a just a piss ass mood, and you'll be like, "Yes, I was doing this earlier," and I'll be like, "Why?" Right? Imagine if
Why do you do that?
also
I'm like,
have a fucking cattle prod, fucking, air compressor gun.
yeah,
Let's explore for a second your take that he's essentially a slasher movie character. I agree because you and I love slasher movies. What makes a great slasher character, right? It's they have to have something very specific about their look. A lot of times it's a mask. For Freddy Krueger, it's his burn fucking
yeah,
thing, fucking green and red sweater. And they have to have a really fucking cool weapon, or at least a weapon that maybe you see all the time, but they use it brutal as fuck, right?
yeah.
Michael Myers, a lot of times it's a big knife, but
Big,
immediately it's
yeah, like a big, like fucking cleaver, or
right.
no, not a cleaver, but like a knife, like a
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Or Jason Voorhees. I mean, he swaps around, but like eventually, you're getting like fucking just hammers and rakes and anything he can use to just shove up your ass or
a
whatever.
rake.
I
That didn't
thought a
kill me,
bad
but
example. It's a bad
hurts.
example. But I'm just saying Freddy Krueger, best example, the fucking knife glove, right?
Yeah,
With Anton Chigur, he's got a really fucking cool weapon that you're never gonna forget, and he's got a really fucking, I'm not gonna say a cool look, but he's got a look that you cannot mistake. He's got the Mo
yeah.
Howard
Like
haircut.
if you're explaining him to the cops, you're like, all right, so his hair's like
Well, this is the early
he's
80s
a
in
page
Texas.
boy.
It's the early 80s in Texas, so you would probably be like, he looks like Rhoda from Mary Tyler Moore, and he's got basically like a gigantic air tank that he blows people's brains out with.
He's got kind of a long, kind of wide face, but
He
not.
he looks like he's Native American, but also German and Spanish. He looks like every old culture.
Yeah.
That's what I love about the
He
cat.
doesn't look like your local Texas Mexican. If I can, if that sounds like it, it's
He
like I don't
doesn't
know,
look
sir.
like look, he's not my boyfriend. We just live together, but
Yeah,
he doesn't look like Ramiro. He looks like some old world, like, you
yeah.
know,
He's got a very old world look,
he does, but that's what's
like
great about him.
Spaniard, like
But
old Spaniard
he's
almost.
a fucking Spaniard
Well,
acting
duh.
like Javier
I
Bardem.
I I know,
So,
duh.
like, obviously he's got like the fucking nose and shit, but like
Yeah,
I
he looks
get
like uh a character in an old oil painting, like those old
no, he totally fucking
like
does.
kind of like yeah.
He totally does. But then again, like half of my fucking Hispanic family can have like absolute like Romanesque features. The only reason I don't is because I got my dad's like French Canadian fucking, Scottish cunt fucking little baby nose,
Yeah.
you know?
I'm just Welsh.
Like 100% when you Google Welsh, Philip's face pops up just going,
Right on the map, just it's like this is what every Welshman looks like.
you know what? Probably fucking late. Hold on, let's look it up real quick. I'm gonna share this screen. No, we're looking it
Stereotypical
up.
Welshman.
We got a stereotypical Welshman. Here we go. Make sure nothing compromising it. Screen. Here we go. Share desktop sound. Here we go. Okay, so headed over to old Google. And we're gonna look up google.com.
.com
And
stupid.
um, let's see.
What's
Uh,
Drumline? Are you watching scenes from Drumline?
no, I'll explain it later. Um,
Okay.
um, Average Welshman images. Not the good-looking ones. Hold on.
Yeah, yeah. Choose the ugly ones.
Let's see.
Put ugly Welshman. No, okay, there you
There,
go.
say. Oh, I guess you also look like the fucking that racist shooter. There
Yeah,
we go.
great.
Here we
Okay.
go. That is honestly, if Philip just shaved his beard, that's what you're
Yeah, look
gonna
at those ears. Like, how much punishment do you have to like receive to get those ears?
be a rugby player, dude. You got to put in them hours, bruh. Okay, now I agree with you that there is something really old world about Anton Chigur, right? And that's what makes this. I'm going to try and tie our two hot takes about No Country for Old Men. And let's both just get this out of the way first. Because we've talked about No Country for Old Men endlessly. No Country for Old Men is absolutely top 10. It might even be, for me personally, top three movies of all time. It's something I watch constantly, like several times a year kind of movie for me. I
It's a
basically
once a year for me, so yeah. I mean, it's
it's just a masterpiece. Um, I do think that that Anton Chigurh is frightening. I do think that there is something very old world about him. And I do think that that's what makes it so fucking hysterical to me. What makes it so fucking funny to me is that you've got this just regular Texan dumbass with Llewellyn Moss,
yeah.
by
And he's so stupid because there's the whole time he's like, I ain't gonna get caught. He ain't gonna get me. And it's like,
he just thinks he's
and
gonna
the
get
Woody
away
Harrelson
with
character's
it.
like, I don't think you're understanding who this man is who is after you, sir.
Yes, and he is also murdered.
Yeah,
And the reason he's murdered is because he got in the way of a determined fate.
yeah.
It's one of the fucking most profound. I'm gonna sound very. I just got through my first class at film school, guy. Okay, just allow me for a second to be a little fucking self-indulgent and pretentious here. But I do think it is one of the most profoundly um um philosophical films I've ever seen. It's weird as shit. But all it's basically saying is the things that were going to happen no matter how you put your spin on it. So,
Yeah, and
hold on, let me
yeah.
just unpack that just for a second. Um, what I mean by that is that drug deal doesn't exist. That's in a void. We never saw that drug deal go bad. What we saw is this: a guy, a Vietnam vet, Llewellyn Moss, just some fucking kind of fucking cowpoke dumbass from Texas, just bouncing from job to job. He was going to stumble across that when he was going on a hunt one day. And he was just going to go down there and do it, and he was going to find money, and he was going to take the money, and the money was going to have a fucking transmitter in it, and it was going to bring down on him an entire fucking firestorm that he never considered. And once he started to put it together, this is what's happening. All right, I can outsmart this. He still wasn't able to get away from it. He still wasn't able to rectify the situation. He didn't create the problem. He didn't make the problem better. He didn't make the problem worse. Everything that happens in this movie was always going to happen. That's called determinism. It's a philosophical thing. And that's about the extent that I know. That's it. End of fucking non-lesson. But that was always going to happen. So Anton Chigurh, all he represents, I don't think he's a bad guy. I don't think he's a good guy. I think he's just literally the sands of time in an hourglass. This was always going to happen, and he's the fucking he's gravity. He's the wind. He's just a thing that just makes everything else fall into place. Not fall into place. He's just the thing that am I making any sense to you right now?
Well, from what you're talking, yeah,
Okay.
the whole like it has to happen when he is in when he is talking to Llewellyn's wife, and she's like, "Well, you don't have to do this," and he's like, "No, I have to."
Yes, and right after that scene, after he brutally murders this, I mean,
Very sweet little Texas woman.
sweet little Texas woman
But
who,
you have to.
by the way, British actress. No,
Okay.
Scottish. She was
Okay.
Train Spotting.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, she's the chick that Ewan McGregor falls for in that movie.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, but
Her mom is played by this lady who is Hank Hill's mom in King of the Hill, actually, Tilly.
name, by the way,
In fact, yeah, I'm gonna look that up.
look it up because I absolutely love her. And again, to my point about this being a very fucking funny movie, I got the cancer. It's not every day you see a Mexican in a suit. Like everything about this movie is very
Very
fun.
old Southern lady. She's so good at that, like old kind of like
I think she
she.
just no, I think she's an old Atlantan, by the way, because I have friends in the film industry here who have worked with her on several projects. What's her
She.
name?
I'm trying to figure it out.
Hold on. No Country for Old Men. Is country spelled in the offensive way or the good way? No Country, Old Men, Mom is played by Beth Grant.
Okay, she's from
Oh,
Alabama.
well, goddamn, what's the closest city? And don't give me Montgomery or fucking.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, that's some bullshit town. If you ain't from the South, I'll tell you right now, you ain't gonna be able to beat Atlanta, Georgia.
Well, usually if you're from Alabama, you lie and say you're from Georgia. They
Oh,
don't they don't have a professional baseball team, so they're like, we like the Braves.
yeah, that's like 6 states around us.
It really is. That's
I know.
awesome though with
Well,
the fucking
no,
Braves.
it is a weird source of pride. So for our viewers, Philip and I are from Georgia, born and bred, and cream pied even in Georgia. And
Mhm.
I'm sorry.
Cream corned. That's just
Anyway,
gross.
anyway, shut up for a second. I have to get this out. Um, when you're from Atlanta, when you're from Georgia in general, even if you're from like a shitty fucking shit splat part of Georgia nobody gives a fuck about and it sucks. The joke we have here is why do all the Philip answer this joke question that every good Georgian should know. Um, hey Phil, why is it all the trees in Georgia point west? Because Alabama sucks.
Okay, there's another one with
I just always love that regional fucking shit talking.
there's a few of the regional like Alabama sucks things.
I
There's
feel bad,
something about
bro.
like all of our doo-doo water goes to Alabama, like our shit water. I don't know, something
You're an
like
adult man. Don't ever say doo doo to me again because that literally made my
that. Okay.
spine turn to
All
glass.
right.
I,
Feces.
I didn't say feces, but say shit. Don't say doo doo. Okay.
Okay. Doo-doo.
We're adult men. No, 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 no. See, you're already chuckling and shit. You think you're
Sorry, I'm used to
so fun.
like if my kid shits, I'm usually like, "Did you doo-doo?"
But that's different.
And he's like, "I
My dad would have said it. I
smell it."
guarantee you. I won't remember. There's no way I can remember, but like I guarantee you, when I was 6 months old, my Bostonian dad probably came in. What you shit?
Yeah. Had you shit and you're just like,
You go gaga. You fucking shit again, cat. Clean the baby.
clean it up. It's like
I'm
I
watching Jeopardy. Hey, oh, hey. Oh, he pops his fucking cuffs.
am watching fucking Rhoda.
But yeah, no, he's watching No Country for Old Men, but he's drunk and he thinks that's Rhoda.
Yeah, God, she used to be slightly attractive or
Yeah,
not? I
what
don't
the fuck?
remember.
Rhoda has hit the wall and hard.
But she needs to hit the Rhoda, if you know what I mean.
Hey, get out of here.
I
Happy.
okay.
But yeah, I do think, but I want to get back to this because it's astounding to me that you don't think this movie's funny, like intentionally so. Because the way you were explaining it is that it has like an offbeat quirkiness that you can accidentally find funny. I'm just trying to find, because you're a funny man, you have great taste and all that stuff.
The banter, of course,
Yeah,
like it's funny, but I'm not sitting there going like I'm not really laughing at it, but I'm like, uh,
really? Okay, there's a part in
you
there
might
where
just be a psychopath.
I, hey, I just might be, all right, and you just might be a redneck.
There's
All
no might about it.
right. Hell, I might be a little bit myself, as much country I've been listening to.
I learned to embrace it at this point because he's like, I ain't no goddamn redneck. People's like, listen to how you said that,
Oh
okay?
my God, with your accent, I remember when you were in your I'm not in any way a redneck phase. That was so funny to me because it was you'd be like shirt off, drunk as hell, covered in barbecue sauce, screaming, I ain't no damn redneck.
Yeah.
Like,
I
what?
don't eat barbecue.
Yeah, just
Just
looking it
rubbing
up.
it all over me like a cat.
I was like, Phil, you are what you are, brother, but
Yeah.
you're not a dumbass. You're not a fucking,
Well,
you know
see,
what I
and
mean? You're
that's
a
the
working
thing.
class Southern man. You have an accent that, I come from transplants, right? So like I'm from Atlanta, the suburbs, but like you're from outside the suburbs where people had lived for a long time. So I've got like a little bit of fucking New England accent. I've got like I just don't sound Southern to people.
Yeah.
Mostly. I have my moments, obviously.
Well, it's like I have a lot of friends who are from here, fucking born and raised, and they don't have accents.
No. Same.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, there was a study done at it might have been the University of Georgia, but I feel like it might have been Georgia Tech. It doesn't matter. The study was in the linguistics department, and they were talking about Gwinnett County. Gwinnett County is part of the Metro Atlanta area. It's where me and Phil are both from. And they were talking about how millennials and younger Gen Z, Gen Alpha, don't have the traditional Southern accent, what's thought of as the Georgian accent. In fact, they sound just like people from Southern California. And it's really weird because they don't find that anywhere else. Here's the thing. There wasn't like an influx of people moving from Southern California to Georgia 30 years ago. It doesn't make sense, right? They don't have an answer for it, but the your accent that you speak in and cannot help, God, I wish you could not talk like that.
I have tried, like literally,
Who
like
gives a fuck? You
learning
talk
how to pronounce shit. I'll go to like Google, be like, how do you say this, Google? And
like
I've done a little better because I used to say lawyer instead of lawyer. Now I say lawyer.
Yeah, but yeah, that was me giving you shit when we were doing an episode on my cousin Vinny.
But
But
it's one of those
Phil,
things. I heard lawyer all my
no,
goddamn
no.
life from
Oh
me.
my God, when I said we were doing the my cousin Vinny episode and you kept saying lawyer, and I grew up in Georgia, I've heard lawyer, but I've mostly heard lawyer, so I was like, it's lawyer. And you were like, and you were like so serious. You were like, I have never once in my life heard someone say lawyer.
No, because even lawyers from the South say lawyer.
It depends on where they're from, but you're right. You're
Well,
right.
yeah,
No, but
I'm
it's true.
talking like,
Oh, the classic. Oh, the Savannah attorney.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
your typical Southern backwoods lawyer.
But who gives a fuck how you sound? You're not
Yeah,
stupid. You're not pooping your pants, and you're
yeah,
not
listen,
saying.
you
Yeah,
know,
exactly. You have a fucking accent. I still do myself. My best friend Alejandro was asking me the other day. I was not thinking. He was like, "Hey, did you ever eat at this place? Some restaurant?" And without thinking, I was just like, "I ain't never ate there." And he was like, "What the fuck?" And I was like, it just didn't hit me how southern that is to go. I ain't never ate there.
yeah, but ain't it? It is, but at the same time, it's like if you're from the South, it doesn't like if you moved from the North. Down to the south, you kind of adopt ain't anyway, so it's
Well,
kind of
hold on.
weird on him for calling you out.
There are people up north who fucking say ain't or
Yeah.
stuff like that. You know, it's not like everybody up north is like, I have a law degree from fucking,
Well, no, it's
no.
like not everyone from Massachusetts went to Harvard.
In fact, I would argue that none of them did. All right.
No, no,
You,
not
I
one, not one local has ever been.
no, no. If anything, it's like that scene from Good Will Hunting. They go to like you know, to Harvard campus to get pussy on the weekend. You know, that's
Yeah,
it. That's it.
dude. Another crazy one is people from Baltimore. I worked with a guy from Baltimore, and that's a crazy accent because it's like it's almost Southern and not. It's like
Like southern
that
and
and like
northern.
Philadelphia.
It's southern and northern. It's right in the middle. It's that
It's so
mid-Atlantic.
weird
It's
because
mid.
uh, he would not say roof, he'd say rough,
Yeah, I hate that.
and
That
he would
pisses me
say
off.
wooder.
And Wooder. But they also
Like, hey, you got any wooters in there? And I'm like,
one of the classic
yeah,
examples for the mid-Atlantic accent is hey, what do you say we go to the store and get a Coke and hoagies?
yeah.
It's just weird, dude. It's a weird fucking sentence, man.
Hey,
Anyways, Anton Chigur is a laugh riot, a laugh a minute. It's a fucking funny movie. Let me give you a better example, or another one at least. Goodfellas is one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. Do you not agree? Does it have to
oh,
be?
Goodfellas is hilarious.
Goodfellas is that's how I feel about No Country, though. No Country is so fucking funny. It's so sharp.
One thing about Anton Chigurh
Chigur.
that's funny is his expressions, like on his face. Um, when he's leaving the guy at the gas station, and he kind of does that to
Oh,
him.
that's Hustler. Yeah,
Yeah, that is so. And
it's
so
a great meme.
he's that is a meme. So he spares him and the trailer park manager, who and the kids. Obviously, he's
But
trying to get kids.
I've always wondered why he spared the trailer park manager, and the only thing I can think,
She wasn't fucking scared of him, so he was
he
like, "All
wasn't
right,
scared of him. He had no, like there was just something like I don't think his character operates necessarily on fear because he kills plenty of people who just aren't aware he's about to kill them.
yeah,
The guy on the side of the road is just like "Huh," as he puts it up to his
yeah."
head. He's
Like, I
not
need you to
scared.
remove your chickens.
He's not scared, so I don't think his character operates on fear. I think his character, I think in that moment where she's like, I'm not at liberty to divulge that information or whatever she says to him and she's shutting his ass down. I think somebody's in the bathroom because you hear a flush.
Hmm.
And I think in that moment he realizes, oh, this isn't to have happened. I'm not here to kill these two people.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. That's a
and
weird one
it
for
could
me.
be like I was talking about. She just didn't budge with him. She was like,
Oh
and
no, he gave her classic fucking Southern fucking just
yeah.
you just like
So he might have been like, "This is mad respect. I can't fucking
game recognized game.
yeah."
Kind of. Actually, that's what I think too. Yeah, that's a good point.
Because he isn't the or hitman that has the code of no kids, no women, because he kills. He obviously killed women in the movie, but
Yeah, right. It's also um I uh I love the scene where Llewellyn Moss, he's at the motel and he goes in, he's come up with a plan, and he needs to get a second room. And I love the exasperation on that old lady running the fucking front desk, where he's like, yeah, can I see a map, layout of the rooms? And she's like, okay, here you go. And she lays down some laminated thing, and he's like, I'll take that room right there. And she goes, well, the room right next to you is open. It's not occupied. And he goes, yeah, I understand, but I'd like to take this room instead that's adjacent so he can like hide the money through the vent. And she just looks at him and she goes, it's got two double beds. It's so fucking hysterical, dude.
That is funny.
It's funny. I know it's offbeat and
But
shit like that, but I mean,
also think about sorry. Think about how smart Anton Chigur is in the hotel part where it's like, why is he taking his shoes off and he's walking on the like the out.
so you don't hear the clip clop.
Yeah.
It's
Fuck.
not just that, Phil, because when you think about, yeah, I agree with you. But when he kills uh Woody Harrelson's character and the blood is coming towards him and he gets on the phone with Llewellyn, he lifts his boots up off the floor so the blood doesn't hit him. I think he's a neat freak. I think he doesn't want to mess up his fancy boots. He don't want to get them bloody.
Yeah, he's got to have some kind of OCD.
Well, think about this. He's
And
not
he's gonna kill you.
leaving he's not leaving a footprint. He's a ghost.
Yeah.
Nothing will there's no boot prints. There's no bloody
Okay.
foot marks. There's
Okay. So
yeah.
if you're talking that he's a ghost, think about this scene at the motel where he kills those cartel guys
Yeah, right.
at the wrong room.
Yeah, yeah.
He just willy-nilly he is touching everything. He leaves his socks
Yeah.
on the
The
floor there.
fucking ghost. It's like the
Like
baby.
literally no one knows who this guy is.
Phil, here's the fuck both of our takes. They're accurate, but here's the real hot take. You ready? No Country for Old Men is a fucking ghost movie. It's a ghost story, dude.
It's got to be. Well, now if you're talking about that, let's talk about since we've talked about Llewellyn and Anton, we got to talk
Yes, yes,
about Tommy
ma'am.
Lee Jones.
Let's fold in TLJ, dude. Tommy
Yeah,
Lee fucking Jones, man. He's an old man. He's nearing the end of his days. Things don't make sense. I mean,
it's a
honestly,
whole new world to him. Like the West is gone.
the West is gone. The West is gone, even though I would also say, all right, to all the Western boys out there, okay? It's one of the greatest Westerns ever made. It
Yeah,
is a Western. This is a Western. We are just swimming
you
in hot.
call it a neo Western or whatever, but it's
Yeah, fuck it. Who cares? It's
call
a
it a
Western.
Western.
Yeah, you call it a revisionist Western too if you
Yeah,
want, but it's a Western regardless, right? But there's no horses. There are horses, by the
yeah,
way.
there's horses. It's Texas. Come on.
Like when him and his when Tommy Lee Jones uh and Ed Tom and his sidekick, his deputy, when they're riding horseback down to the scene of the crime where the drug deal went bad, and the deputy's like, "Oh, hell's bells, they even shot the dog," you know. Again, funny fucking line, okay? But let's talk about Tommy Lee Jones. I mean, the last scene of that movie used to fucking it confused me when I first saw it. This came out in 2007. So I was
Yeah,
like 19 years old, 20 years old, and I just did not understand the fucking end of this movie where it's and
I
then
rented that movie when it came out on DVD, and not knowing anything about the book, watched
right.
it with my dad, and he was so upset at the end of the movie. And he's like, "What the fuck?"
Or how about this? Llewellyn's off-screen death.
Which killed me because
It
I was
pissed
like, he
me
was
off
my favorite
so much.
character.
Well, and he was on the fucking, of course. I mean, he's fucking Brolin, by the way, is the man.
Yeah,
But when he's on the phone with Anton Chigur, he says, "Oh, you ain't gotta come looking for me. I'm gonna find you." It's like, oh shit, hell yeah, we're about to
yeah,
have a showdown. You don't get the showdown because that's not the point. The fucking main character of this whole movie is Tommy Lee Jones. It's an old man grappling with his entire existence.
yeah. His entire life.
Yeah, everything that ever made sense is gone. When he sees his old ass uncle, and
Yeah,
he's telling that story about, well, some man showed up, they was wanting this one man.
killed your uncle. It's like, how old are these men? And then I remember the movie is set in the 80s, right? Like early
Yes.
80s. So
This man is like the last of the cowboys. He's
yeah,
talking about like some shit that happened in like 1909.
yeah. It was like 1909 or something like that. It's
Yeah,
just like
yeah.
because that is like the last few years of the West.
Those are the last few years before the automobile and, industrial, just before just like this became the biggest goddamn country on the planet, you
Yeah,
know. Um, and it ends with him talking about a dream he had with his dad in it. And at this point in his life, his dad's the younger man by a good 20 years. And his dad races ahead. They're on horseback, and his dad races ahead into the dark desert, you know, and he's got like a torch. Like he's headed off
yeah.
into death, into what's next after this life, if there's anything. That's his old man. And he is facing that every day now because he's a 70 plus year old fucking man. And this is a fucking ghost movie. This is a ghost
It
story.
very much it very much is. It's like it's that, and especially with Tommy Lee Jones' character, it's kind of like a questioning your whole existence kind of thing.
Fucking dude, such a good point, because a good example of that is honestly every scene with Tommy Lee Jones is complete. Every scene in this movie is 100% necessary, even if it takes further viewing to kind of unpack it. We're doing it literally right now. We're realizing shit. But like with Ed Tom, when Llewellyn has his off-screen death at that other hotel when he's talking to that hot drunk chick by the pool.
Yeah, that's what killed him.
That's what killed
Should have kept his fucking
that.
eyes and ears open.
A horny dick is a dead man. It's a
Yeah.
dead man. But you don't see Llewellyn die off screen. That's when you kind of realize this is Tommy Lee Jones's movie.
Oh yeah, because with that scene, I remember with that it like the camera just pans to his dead body, and I'm just like,
Yeah, he's just dead in the
I was
pool.
like, you cheap motherfuckers.
I was so mad
I
when I
was
saw
so
that.
mad because I was like, I kind of wanted to see like a scene where it's like almost a standoff,
Of course, you wanted that
but that's not
finale.
reality.
It's not the reality, but it's also not the point of the movie. The point of the movie is not some cool ass fucking shootout.
Yeah.
In fact, name a way that would be cool and not
Well,
undo all of
the
the
movie
craziness.
is so like it just it rips the blanket off of Hollywood fantasy stuff to where it's like
Yeah.
this is real. I mean, look at how the movie did not have a soundtrack.
There's not, that's a fucking great fucking point. Let's hang out here for a second.
So guess how real that sounds. Like whoever the audio technician was in that movie,
Genius.
fucking genius. Like I
Fucking
want to learn from that guy.
me fucking too as a sound engineer. My
The
God,
sound is perfect in that
it's,
movie.
it's perfect. And you never notice the sound unless it's like gunshots or something. But
Yeah.
it took me 3 times, I think, watching this movie before it hit me. There's no music.
No,
There's
there's no music. The
because
only thing that you might hear is like an ambient kind of short thing, and that's it.
that's it. You might hear like a little stab for a second, a little
Yeah.
stinger, but that's it. That's all you're getting. You there, and it's a fucking movie in Texas with desert shots. It could have had like a bam, bam, bam,
Well,
bam. It could have done all that. It did
it
not.
was like when Anton Chigur is talking to the guy at the gas station. You just hear the clock keep
Just adding to the
like a
fucking
metronome.
texture of
Yeah.
this moment. Yeah, yeah, like a metronome. 100%. Yeah, yeah. And what I wanted to say is when Ed Tom shows up at the motel, he finally found his man, Llewellyn Moss, and he's dead, just like he figured he might. He goes walking up. He comes back to the crime scene later, right? And he notices that a hotel room door the lock has been punched off, just like Anton Chigur does.
Yeah.
He pulls out his gun and he goes in. And the way they shoot it, you don't know. Is Anton Chigur in there now, or is this a shot of Anton Chigur hours earlier or hours later? I don't know. But in that moment, Ed Tom is faced with uncertain. He's faced with uncertainty, sure, but he's faced with certainty. He's staring at this darkened motel room where people were murdered hours earlier, and there very well may be the murderer hiding behind a door in that fucking room. it's not just about the anxiety of that moment. This is to the point about it being a ghost story, is he doesn't even get to have his shootout. He doesn't want it, but
Yeah, obviously he wants to go back to his
he wants to go back to his fucking wife, who
wife
reminds me
and be
of
like, we're
Reba.
gonna move to Boca Raton later.
Yeah, exactly. Just get the hell out of Texas. But in that moment, it's two souls in a room and they're not interacting. There's this space to this that you don't get any great moment. Like when Anton Chigur gets into that car crash at the end after he kills fucking Mary Jane, what the fuck's her name again? Carla Jean. And he gets in that car accident, right?
Damn,
With
is
the
you look
bear.
fucked up.
But what that says to me is that it's kind of that point they were making earlier. There is no certainty. When he's talking, when Ed Tom is talking to Carla Jean at that restaurant, he goes, the point I'm trying to make is that even in the contest between man and steer, there is no certainty. There's no certainty that even death himself, Anton Chigurh, is beyond getting into a car crash where he could die. Like, none of it matters. It's almost the bleakest fucking philosophical statement you can make
Very
in
much.
any
At the
movie.
same
What's the
time,
point?
you could almost see Anton Chigurh as like the Grim Reaper.
That's what I was gonna. Yeah, oh,
Yeah.
100%. Or what about
Fucking
this?
sickles the
Oh, you really want me to just take your mind and bend it over a goddamn fucking sofa and pound it rotten, sister? Watch this.
yeah, I want to get mind
Anton
pregnant.
Chigurh. Anton Chigurh, in a sense, is the good guy.
It's weird.
Let
And
me.
it's not
I don't
like
mean
the
like he's.
Joker's actually good in Dark Knight.
No, not like that.
Like he blew up a hospital, so I don't think that's
Yeah, he's kind of a piece of shit. Yeah, well, I'm sick of Joker discourse. I don't mean he's a good guy. I just mean he's not a bad guy in a certain sense. Anton Chigurh, fuck the Joker. You have Anton Chigurh. The fact that people go, oh my God, this is my Joker, I'm gonna become the Joker. It's like, no, fuck this. You want to be really fucking deep, bro? This is my Anton Chigurh moment, bro. That's where you realize all moral fucking equivalencies, all fucking moral conundrums. Am I a good person, a bad person? You're a person, and you don't mean shit, and none of this means shit. How dark and bleak is that? It's as bleak as the goddamn desert at night.
well, the movie is the definition of bleak.
It really is, and it's also a goddamn hoot.
I remember my dad being so pissed off. He's
I
like, "Wait a minute. So the bad guy
wins.
wins?" And I'm like, "Bah."
I don't know. Yeah, kinda.
I was like, "Sorry, it's not your John Wayne movie." Imagine being that much of a fucking
You just go all
loser.
Mark Maron on him, you just
Yeah.
like,
So
yeah,
it's not a John Wayne movie, man.
yeah, it's not just that fucking American man bullshit.
Yeah, this is some different man. Get out of your fucking old man head. It's just like, stop. You sound stupid.
And that's why I love old men.
This is why I love old men.
And
Old
the
men are great.
old men are great. Yeah, they're hot.
No hot country for old men, I can tell you that.
No, no time to, yeah, no bed for young men because I'm fucking a bunch of old men in it.
No bed for old men who are getting fucked by young men who have
How about this?
MRSA.
How about this? No head for old men, dot, 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 psych.
This porno is very bleak.
Hell yeah. All right, hold on. And